How many of those sessions are we going to have today? Yes. So today we're actually going to have 3 sessions. So in the second one, in the afternoon, I'm still going to talk with Scott Urshan, and Scott is a master refactor. He's going to be here with us. So, but right now I have here a great guest, Tatiana. I'll introduce her in a minute. But before I do that, let me just quickly share here for people that are watching us on YouTube, people who are watching us on Facebook. If you want to participate, if you want to join us here, and here's the URL where you can join. If you wanna come here and join us here, you can totally. Let me see if I can just. So just you can join us here in the in the air meet, right, where we are. So come here, right? Just go to this QR code or to this URL and join us here, so we can have a nicer one-on-one, like closer conversation here with everyone, right? So, and oops, what happened here? So one of the things that I want to discuss here today, right, with Tatiana, that's so we're just talking with Manny Sakar, and he was saying that sometimes it's very hard for developers to to promote themselves and to participate in that. So that's the discussion we're going to have here, Tatiana. So whatever you are, send me your questions, right? If you want to grow your career, if you're not sure how to promote yourself, if you're not sure how to get the best jobs, how to show up in the market. Yesterday we had a long discussion about working abroad in other countries, and that's very necessary that you know how to promote yourself. So if you don't know how to do that, ask your question, right? So come here in the chat, tell us where you're from in the chat. So Manny says we're still in the lobby, right? So come over and chat to me. Sorry about that, Manny. When we start the session, we bring everyone here, so you're probably here with us now. So this event, we don't have the lobby available while we're in the session. So sorry about that, Manny. I did not think about that. I could have that. Okay. I'm happy to be in the session, so that's good. Okay, thanks a lot, Manny. All right, so without further ado, Tatiana is a good friend for a long time. We've met each other in so many different places, right? And so Tatiana is a VP of marketing from Jelastic, right, where she is, as a small company. Yes, that's right there. So a small company fighting with the big guys, right, from the cloud industry. So hey, Tatiana, how are you doing?
Hi, Bruno. Thank you for inviting me for this talk. I'm really pleased to be here and talk to you about career in IT sphere, and for sure, but all the questions that people can get and can have here in the chat. So thank you.
That's great. So Tatiana, how about we start with the question from Manny, right? So since he's here, right? And Manny was talking about. That's hard for developers. Not a lot of developers are introverts. A lot of developers don't know how to market themselves. And Manny is a freelancer, right? So what kind of skills do we need? What kind of things we could do to show ourselves in the market, to promote ourselves into the market? What kind of things you suggest?
Okay, so considering developers, I would say that it's important to be active in the community, to get the name, to get the visibility that you would like to have in the specific community. So this can be like, you can start with some specific direction like Java community or DevOps community or Kubernetes direction. And I think that for every person who wants to be visible, it's important to speak and to give the ideas, to spread the ideas to the people. Because even while working in the company, sometimes I have this trouble with our developers because they make cool technology, they make cool stuff, tools, and all these, but they keep it for themselves. They are shy or maybe just like not willing to talk about that. And it's some kind of hard work to pull all that information out of them and spread it to people. So for developers and for those guys who want to get to the market and to get the visibility, it's important to speak about the technology that you are working on, about the tools that you are admiring or the tools that you are using as well. So from my perspective, it's rather often difficult for those guys who consider themselves introvert person, and this is some kind of like extra job and extra work to do here. But for me, for example, I'm also much more introvert person than extrovert. And I remember when I started to work in Gelastic, and I got to the conference for the first time, and I had really big shock because I had to talk to people, and I was standing on the booth, and I was like, oh my God, I cannot start talking to people. If they ask me something, I can answer any question that they want, but how to start this first conversation, how to pull all these people. In my time, my CEO helped me a lot with that because he was pushing me and he was like, go, talk to people, do that. So something like that. And that helped me a lot because I had to overcome this comfort zone. I had to go to people, even having this dizziness inside me and sickness inside me, that I need to start this conversation first. The same for developers who are trying to get to the market. So they need to start talking, go to the different conferences. For example, right now, it's a great opportunity. There are lots of online conferences where you even do not need to travel somewhere, but you can apply, you can submit your speaking slot, and you can get the session. And also, if you are too unconfident to go to some big conference or something like that, you can start with some meetups and some local community events. And I'm pretty sure that such kind of community events, they are open to get some fresh people there and some fresh topics to talk about. So this is a good start to begin with. And of course, in addition to speaking slots, that can work also to have some publications, some articles in different media. Even maybe before the sessions, you can get some articles and show people that you can present the topic in a proper way. Then you will have more chances to get your submission approved afterward for speaking slot.
That's awesome. Now there's a question from Mokhtar here, right? That that I believe that in case you have a solid background about you, right? So do you think that when you start all of these and you start, did you have like a solid technology background around
I
you?
had I had zero technology background at the beginning because by education I am teacher of English and German, so this has nothing to technology. And I've started to work in the tech sphere about 10 years ago, and I've started as a junior technical writer, and I had to learn the technology because I had to explain to people how the platform works properly in the instructions. So I had to go deeper. I had to deploy applications. I had to tune the settings inside, like connect databases and all that stuff. For me, that was like mind blowing because when we had some meetings, when people were describing something, what they were doing at work today or what they are planning, I had no idea what they are talking about at the beginning. So I had to learn a lot. I read a lot of information. I tried to do it myself step by step and learning like some use cases and learning what other people are doing. So at the beginning, there were zero experience, but step by step, I started as junior technical writer. Then I was a head of technical writing department. And then eventually I moved to marketing because I was more interested in cooperation with community. Like technical writing is, from one point, it's interesting. But for me, that was already not enough. I wanted to talk to customers. I wanted to talk to community to get the feedback about all what I'm doing. So yeah, that was like the next step for me.
That's awesome. Okay. Uh, um, yeah, Manny's is talking about the books here, right? So let me ask one thing here. So you are in 10 years, right? You went from just beginning, right, all the way to a VP of marketing from an awesome company that I think is changing the way that we see cloud, right? So what are the challenges that you're facing today in working on on a small company, especially in this market where you have such big companies like Microsoft and Oracle and Amazon. I mean, those are like the
Yeah.
companies that control the world, right? And so how it is that you can promote yourself. That's again the whole thing about the solid background, right? How can you
Sure.
put yourself into this spot and find a spot for your small company in this middle of those big companies.
For sure, being a smaller company with a much more smaller budget than some competitors have, we need and I need to be more wittier with what I'm doing. So I need to think about how to use the content properly, to spread it, and also we work on quality of what we are doing. We don't work on the number of stuff that we are doing because we understand we don't have enough power and enough budget to cover like everything. But when we are preparing some content, for example, or some event, we are trying to do it as much quality as possible. And also some creative ideas. For example, I work a lot on different images and designs, like making some t-shirts and like stuff like that to catch the eye of people who are coming to our website, having some interesting idea that can grab the attention of the audience. Not only cool technology, but something that can present this technology in a cool way. So these are like the main ideas here, like to be differentiable from others, like because we cannot compete with big guys without having something interesting to offer and
Mm-hmm.
without having some interesting ideas to spread. So this is the point. We're trying to highlight maybe some directions that are not covered by others, and that rather often in our company we figure out that we are doing already something that others are just going to start to do in some years. And right now we see the same traction. Like we started, for example, to work with containers from the very beginning of our company. And only after a few years, there was this boom about Docker containers and all this stuff. And up until then, we already had several years of experience and already were talking about containers.
Mm-hmm.
But for sure, it's interesting to see that the market is moving there as well, and we are already there. So it's a cool feeling that you are ahead a bit.
Yeah, that's very amazing, right? So the first time I started working with Gelastic, way before this whole containers movement showed up, right? I had a little bit of experience with containers by working with Sun Solaris, right? I was an evangelist for Sun Solaris, and so of Open Solaris, right? And so and I had a little bit of experience with Solaris zones and the containers, and then I met Gelastic, right? And so you guys were doing containers way before anyone was talking about any of that. So that was really impressive. So everyone here, so Anita, Manny, Dangel, Mokhtar, Jessica, right? Christine, Milton, Eduardo, Marco, everyone send us questions. So for Tatiana here, and if you're watching us on YouTube or on LinkedIn or Twitter or wherever you are watching us, send us question here. You can just type on the chat, and then we hopefully we can see your questions from here. Tatiana, let me say you mentioned something that I thought really special, right? Because you said that you have to be different, right? You have to find that spot that you are different than anyone else, right? And I think this is true for developers too, right? So when we're trying to we're trying to get a job, we're trying to enter in a company, or you're trying to, like Manny is doing, like a freelancer and get new jobs. We also have to position ourselves in the market in the right way as a different person than if you say I'm a Java developer, there's like 9 million people that say I'm a Java developer, right? So can you give us some ideas on how we can do personally, like developers can present ourselves in a way that puts us as with this differential, like you're saying?
I think that first of all, every developer should consider what is his or her strong side, because rather often, especially some fresh people in the sphere, they are trying different things and they are trying to be good in everything at once. And sometimes this can fade the focus on something important. So it's very useful to figure out what is your main strength points and put all your attention to that. For sure, you need to figure out all new trends that is coming on the market and do all this stuff and investigate what is going on, because it's important to be in time with what is happening on the market. But you need to have some strong points that you can present to others, and you can say that you are an expert in these, and you can provide the feedback that no one can provide like that. So, and I think this will be a differentiator, because you can say that you're an expert in this sphere, and people will want to invite you, they will want to talk to you, and they will want to get your feedback in the market.
That's awesome. So Manny has a technical question here, right? Is Jalask working on the next level of containers, replacing or improving Docker containers? Can you tell us a little bit about how Jalask deals with containers in general?
Sure. So basically, Elastic started to use containers even before Docker containers. We use system containers as a basis. And in our case, these are Virtuoso containers. So this is like enterprise version of system containers, like OS containers, some people also calling it. So why we started to work with that? Because system containers, they have the benefits of lightweightness and density and everything that is connected with containers. But at the same time, they are rather close to the usual virtual machines by its nature, because inside one system container, you can run different services, and not only one, as in case with application containers like Docker. And for sure, when Docker popped up and everyone wanted Docker, we integrated Docker inside Jelastic. But in our case, again, this is like optimized Docker images, because we have them inside these system containers. And we use this scalability that we provide within our platform for all the layers, like for the layer of system containers and for the layer of application containers like Docker. We have a set of like templates and images, some stacks that are widely popular and used by our customers, and we optimize them for scaling. We have also out-of-box clustering for a set of different templates and stacks, and all of them, they are available just in a button click from the UI. And in this case, customers can easily get up and running different types of containers. But in addition to that, we have also support of native Docker containers, just in case some customer needs some custom thing and they want to build their own image out of usual native Docker container. But yeah, in our case, all containers, they are based on system containers, and we run in this way. And for example, our partners, usually they have, for example, bare metal. And this bare metal is divided to these system containers, not virtual machines. So in this way, they can have much higher density, and also usage of these containers and scalability provided us with the opportunity to give customers pay-per-use pricing model. Because in our case, they don't need to allocate or buy a virtual machine beforehand. And they don't need to think, okay, what size virtual machine I need to start with, and whether I'm going to have some load spike in a week or in a month, and will need to migrate. In our case, they don't need this, because they don't buy virtual machines. They only pay for the resources that they consume inside containers. So
okay, that's awesome. And so, I mean, you start here by telling us that you're not technical, and then you give this awesome technical explanation right there, right? So, you know, that's a great thing. So, and Manny's saying here, great answer, awesome.
Thank you, Manny.
So, let me see here. So now you're the track leads for TDC clouds, right? Cloud and
Yeah.
DevOps track for next week. So what do you think in terms of skills for cloud and DevOps? Why developers? I'm a Java developer, right? So why do I need to do DevOps cloud? Is that something that someone else has to handle, or are those important skills for developers?
Well, I consider that's for sure important, and that's why we have, for example, in TDC, we have so many talks about all this stuff, and we had to choose only 7 out of them, but the choice was much wider. So, considering DevOps and cloud, for sure, this is a demanded direction because. Right now, people are moving to simplification more and more, and they don't want to worry about infrastructure. And some companies, they are focused on their business, and they want to have a specialist who can cover the needs in the cloud infrastructure management and all that stuff and DevOps stuff. So for them not to worry about that. So for sure, if you have the required skills in DevOps and in managing cloud infrastructure, you will find the job without troubles, because right now, every day, people are moving from traditional hosting to cloud hosting faster and faster because of the scalability, because of some efficiency, and much of them are moving because they don't want to run their own infrastructure and they don't want to manage all that stuff. So they prefer to find a DevOps guy who has the experience of running stuff inside the cloud. And for example, using some cloud platform like Elastic, for example. And in this way, they are covering the whole hosting direction. They are covering the infrastructure management in general, and they don't need to worry about that much. So these kind of skills, they are useful for sure right now. And we have a big traction of moving from traditional hosting to cloud. So this is not something that was only in the past years, but this is something that is going on right now, and I'm pretty sure this traction will be ongoing for the next years as well.
Okay, that's awesome. So many things here. Why Elastic is not the default solution for the cloud, right? So that's probably a hard question to answer, but sounds like others still make us to do more than we should be doing, and the cost savings seem better in Elastic. So look, Elastic came on board with this focus on exactly what Manny's saying here, right? Focus
Yep.
on making very easy for developers to get their stuff running, right? And I think that's I'm a Elastic customer for many years, and it's still I mean, just kind of even put myself here, right? Because I'm a Elastic customer for many years, and I'm still very amazed on how easy it is for us to just put things up and running on Elastic, and I have a lot of different solutions that I've run. I've run Docker, I've run Kubernetes, I've run directly on Elastic. I've run things like WordPress, right? Actually, my WordPress site, if you click on the link that Manny put of my books, for example, it's running on Elastic, right? So you can put everything there, and I'm amazed at how easy it is, right? But so you guys came with this idea of having focus on easy of use and also focus on cost savings, right?
Yep.
So how can you do those two things, make it easy and make it very cost savings?
So yeah, basically these were like two main directions that we were targeting, like easiness and cost efficiency. And from the point of view of easiness, we are having like UI to simplify the process of in creating environment, managing all that stuff, also managing, for example, even environments across different regions and stuff like that. And also we automated lots of things for people not to worry about that. For example, automated the process of database clusterization. We have like lots of different database clusters like primary or primary secondary nodes or Galera cluster or whatever, and they are available just in a button click and you get it. And you don't need to spend the time on some routine task. So this is some kind of routine step that you don't need to waste time on, and you can go on with your project. And also automation of installation, different applications. Like Bruno mentioned, we have all these WordPress hosting, Magento hosting, whatsoever, and they are available from the marketplace. There are some simple installations, like some hosting of single node, single container, or there are some clustered installations, because you may know that, for example, this WordPress cluster, this can be a struggle to build, because you need to have high experience to know how to interconnect everything, how to tune the performance, how to use the right servers, whether to choose Nginx or to go with Lightspeed, and how to set up everything properly. And we worked hard on that. We worked together with some of our partners who has good experience in managed WordPress hosting. And we built some clusters, some templates that customers can just install in a matter of minutes without any knowledge of WordPress, without any knowledge of technical side and server side of WordPress. So this is also for the side of simplification. And talking about cost efficiency, yeah, that was also one of the directions we worked from the very beginning, and we implemented this pay-per-use pricing model. And for now, right now, there is no other cloud vendor with the same pricing model. So this is some kind of unique thing for Gelastic as well. And rather often it is compared to pay-as-you-go system that you can find, for example, on Amazon or Azure or other clouds. But this is a different thing. And there is some kind of misleading here, because with pay-as-you-go system, you buy the whole virtual machine. And when you grow, for sure, you can go to the bigger virtual machine. But in this case, again, you buy twice bigger machine. And even if you need just a bit more resources, you're going to pay for the twice bigger machine. And you will need to migrate your project from smaller one to the bigger one. So this can also lead to some downtimes. In case with Gelastic and containers and all this automatic scaling that we have inside, you just set up the maximum limit for the container that you are having, and the resources are provided by the system automatically with small chunks. We call them cloudlets. So with these small chunks, the system provides the needed resources and takes them back when the load goes down. And customers are paying only for the used resources. No need to reserve. You're not going to pay for that maximum limit that you set up. You're going to pay only for the consumed resources. So yeah, in this way, we are working on some cost efficiency. And for example, we have also add-on for stopping and starting environment automatically. So customers can just automate this process. And for the weekends or non-working hours, they can stop all dev and stage environments, not to pay for them. So they really love it as well. So this is also one more step to make the cloud hosting more efficient.
Hey, that's awesome. Yes, and look, this is something that's again the whole marketing discussion, right? That's something that's kind of hard, right? Because you say that we just charge for what you use, but then other cloud providers also say the same thing. We just charge for what you use, but the reality is not like this. So you have to kind of craft a marketing message around that idea. So look. There's a big question here from LinkedIn, so bear with me while I read this. So Marcelo Marx says this: Tatiana, thank you for being here. I'm not a technical guy. I'm more like an entrepreneur. So my question about marketing and digital area. I love marketing. I think we can change the world through marketing. But the days of digital marketing, likes, clicks, and followers metrics often define the content strategy, as there is a goal to be reached from those metrics. In this sense, the content created by marketing sometimes impoverish the debate on important topics, right? So what's your opinion about this? Is it, to be clear, what you're doing here today is enriching the debate, but we don't see that much today in the digital marketing area. I think that's, look, that's why I love to be here, right? In person. It's not just kind of creating clickbait content, right? So and you guys at Gelastic, Tatiana, you really create awesome content. You're very, very careful on creating very, very valuable content. So how do you do this? How do you create content that's valuable for people?
For sure. So we have our blog, and on our blog we publish at least one article per week. And this is hard work as well to build the content, to make. This is not the content just like some overview, short overview into passages or something. This is like real articles with some instructions or with some general overview of some market direction and something like that. So for sure, this is a hard work to do. But this is right that we need to track the interest, and we need to make the content based on the demand of the audience, all those likes and everything that was mentioned in the question. So from our side, we build the content from one point. First of all, this, for example, if we have some new feature or new stuff in the product. But secondly, this is based on the demand of our customers. Rather often we get the questions from the customers to our support team. And I work with support team as well, and I see those questions, and sometimes I can go to support team and ask, okay, what questions people are asking, what they are like mainly interested in, and we can pull some questions out of there and create some article based on those questions and based on those demands that we got. And the same idea we have even not only with content creation, but also with feature adding to the platform. Usually this is based on the demand and based on the request. And for sure, if we have the request, we created the feature and we cover it in the content. And there are some topics that, for example, I use Google Analytics and I track how much traffic I got for this article or for that article. And I see that, for example, rather often we have good traction for Tomcat topics or PostgreSQL topics. I cannot explain it why specifically those, but I know the Java community is rather active. So that's why some topics about Java, about Tomcat, about some servers, other servers of Java, they can work well. And I also can push such topics to some external media. And for example, I work with Jakarta E community and also FoodJ community, and they are welcome to get such content and publish it on their sites. So this is also like extra step to think when I decide whether I choose this topic or that topic. I think if I can spread this topic wider. And if this is some Java oriented and I know already the paths where I could put this content, I will get and I will start with that topic first. And for sure, some content is like some ideas that we have. Because as I mentioned, rather often we think about some things and we have some ideas that are not yet understood at the market. So same as for this pay-per-use pricing. We understand that this is a unique feature, but people don't really understand that. So for us, it's important to create content to educate them, to explain the difference, like to explain why this is unique, how it differentiates from other pricing models. So something like that, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Awesome. Yes, that's what we like to call those EBM, education based marketing, right? So we have to educate people, and I think that I understand what Marcelo is coming from, where everyone just kind of wants for the clicks and the likes, right? But the reality is that great content it still has a huge place, especially. I think that's one thing we got to say, especially on the technology and software development world, right? Because because developers are very, very focused on great content. So that's awesome. So there is one more question here from Anita, and she says, as a developer or marketeer or any general person, what is the next big thing in technology, right? That you see is going to be a game changer? Beyond AI, robotics, cloud, data analytics. I mean, beyond all the great next stuff. What is the next stuff then?
Yes. So yeah, beyond that, that's difficult to say. Beyond that was listed there, but For example, right now I see a big interest in the direction of Kubernetes hosting, and I think that this topic is very like questionable. So from one point of view, I see a big interest from people to get Kubernetes up and running and to run the applications on Kubernetes. From the other side, I see the struggling point for customers, that for them it's difficult to manage Kubernetes. Kubernetes started as something to make life easier, to make hosting easier, but right now it's already some kind of complexity layer in a way. So I think that one of the directions that I see in the near future, this is some kind of simplified Kubernetes. Maybe this is not going to be Kubernetes, but some kind of platform that will be close to orchestrating containers, and also some kind of platform that will unify different types and different options that we have at the market right now, container options, and unify the way to manage all that stuff and automate the process. So right now I see that we are going to have more automation in container direction.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, great. So Marcelo Marques says, thank you, right, on the LinkedIn chat. That's great. So Marcos is saying here, I spent my last 17 years in a company that didn't use cloud computer. I didn't have any experience working on that. However, I'm learning and preparing myself about that. How could I prove my cloud computing skills even without experience? So Marco, let me tell you, let me say this really quick. I'm looking for someone that that has a little bit of cloud knowledge to get into some interesting projects. So if you maybe you don't need to prove anything, right? Just send me a message. Right, so you got an email from me. Send me a message on that email. Maybe we can have a conversation. Right, we're actually looking for someone that sounds like you, man. 17 years of experience. That's what we're looking for. All right. So and we have some awesome projects, by the way. So Tatiana, what do you think? Right. So that's in a general question, right? So how can we? And by the way, look, I don't think that's a problem only for people that don't have experience, like Mark was saying. I think that's a problem even for people that have experience. A lot of people don't know how to show their experience, how to show their knowledge. So how can we be a little bit more marketing persons as a developers?
So I can say this like from the point of view of employer, I would say, because rather often I'm doing some interviews with the new guys and looking for people in my team, for my team. And this is a choice for me as well, because rather often if the person is technical and has experience in technology, there is only slight chance that this person is going to join marketing team, because such guys, they prefer to go to tech departments and to something like DevOps, development, R&D, QA, or whatever. For marketing in IT sphere, it's important to have some tech skills as well. But if you don't have them, you need to prove that you have good speaking skills, writing skills, and that you can grab the idea rather fast. And sometimes, for example, some years ago, I was taking a girl, and after that, she became a head of technical documentation. And she was a student at that time when I hired her in our team. And I taught her lots of stuff inside the company. And I was so proud that she grew up to that level of knowledge. And many companies, they are open to hire some people who doesn't have really specific experience in the sphere of cloud computing, because there are not so many people that have this experience and ready to start from the bottom and do the work. Because if the person has already a good experience in cloud computing, has experience in marketing and all this stuff, they prefer to have some C-level jobs and do the management. but it's rather often difficult to find a person who is ready and willing to do the practical side of the marketing, to write the articles, to be active in social media, to be active in the forums and chat with the community. Also to organize the events, to work with the partners and clients, to have all those newsletters and all this stuff, to do the practical side. And if you show the employer that you are open to that and that you are a fast learner, that you can grab the idea what should be done and what should be created, I'm pretty sure that many doors can be opened with that.
Okay, that's awesome. So I think we answered all the questions. So anyone else has any more questions here for Tatiana, please send us the questions here. I know the Maktar is having some issues with trying to register here for TDC. So I'll show you guys how to. Well, first of all, let me kind of quickly do two things here. Can we give away prizes here, Tatiana? Really quick.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So can we have? Oh, that's a great question right there. Can we have a Lights account on Gelast to try out the containers? So can you do? Actually, let me ask you a more specific question. That's what Manny is not asking here. So Tatiana, do you guys work with Java champions like Manny to get them to experiment Gelast for a little bit?
For sure, we work with that and with that community. Our CEO is Java champion, so for sure we work with Java champions.
Right.
So we have like in general for customers, we work with hosting service providers in different locations. So this is also like one of differentiators of Gelastic, so that we are not providing our infrastructure. We provide the software, the platform on top, and we work with hosting providers local in the countries, giving them an opportunity to build an upgraded business, not like traditional hosting, but cloud hosting with automation and all the tools that are required in containers and so on and so forth. So we have around 100 data centers with all our partners, like about 70 hosting service providers. We work right now in 38 countries. So in almost every of those hosting providers, they have a free trial, like about 2 weeks free trial with some, of course, limited amount of resources, but that's enough to get started with the platform and all this stuff. And with some, for example, Java projects, for example, recently we hosted a Java project cargo tracker together with Reza, and we've hosted it on one of our hosting providers for free because we wanted to support Jakarta community, and in this way we hosted this project on Gelastic. The same, we are providing some demo accounts for those who are willing to have, for example, private cloud in future, and you can get free account on our demo lab if it's needed. So you just can contact me, or you can drop a message to Gelastic support, and we will willingly provide you the best option to go with and to start with.
Okay, so what I'm going to do here, Manny, I'm going to send your connection to Tatiana and Tatiana's connection to you, right? So you guys can talk and get some cool stuff there. Yes, Manny is doing a lot of work with all kinds of different companies and all kinds of cloud providers. So that's great that he knows a little bit more about Gelast. That's awesome. All right, so let me quickly here, Tatiana. Let me just kind of show a little bit. I want to give two gifts for people here, right? So actually, I already gave some books, right? So let me quickly do this. So this is for everyone, right? So everyone can get a set of free books, right? We have this series called the Low Hanging Books, right? It's it's short, very actionable books, right? That will introduce you to some important concepts, right? We have the Low Hanging Software Architecture from Yugo Sakamoto. It's a great book if you want to dive into the software architecture world. We have this book, the Low Hanging Talks from me, right, where I show you 4 places and 5 styles of presentation that you can use today to share your knowledge, like what Tatiana is talking about, being present yourself a little bit more. So you can start by that. We have the low-hanging code smells. This is an ebook from Scott Wiershan. Scott's going to be here today. About 3 hours from now, he's going to be here discussing refactoring, right? So the low-hanging code smells, it's a book exactly about that, about refactoring. And then the low-hanging Java challenge, so Rafael Del Nero. So we're streaming here on Rafael Del Nero YouTube account. So if you're watching this from Rafael Del Nero's YouTube account, thanks a lot, Rafael, for being here with us and helping us spread this message a little bit more. He wrote these low-hanging Java challenges with lots of cool challenges for you to grow your Java skills. And last but not least, the low-hanging machine learning book, it talks about 6 concepts and 3 tools that you can apply today about artificial intelligence. It's written by Eyal Wirsanki. Eyal is actually the coordinator of the AI track next week, right? So those books here, I do suggest you take a look. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I stopped sharing too early, right? Oh man, how bad is that, right? So I stopped sharing too early. So the URL for that, right, is okay here. All right. So the URL for all those books, right? You can just get all those books for free in this URL here. So get you this QR code, java.mn/low-hanging books, right? So just get those books there. Now, if you want to participate on TDC next week, right, the thing I want to show you is how to do that. So, and I'm going to give you, yes, thanks a lot, Manny. Thanks a lot. Tatiana, I also put there this choice for Gillespie hosting partners. Awesome. Okay, so, and then the other thing I want to share with you is, how to register for TDC, right? And I'm going to put the link here in the chat, how you can register for TDC. And okay, so that's the window right there. All right, and I'm gonna give you one more gift, right? Not only I'm gonna show you how you can register for TDC and solve Mokhtar's issue that he's having, right? Let me just kind of put the link here. So this is the registration, the TDC registration page for the event next week. And there's 2 things that you want to know. First of all, you can register for the event completely free, right? And so let me show you how you do this, how you can register for the event for free. TDC has what we call the basic. So this page here is going to show you a lot of things about the events, right? We have all those tracks here going on. We have what we call the basic pass, right? The basic pass gives you access to one talk of every track, right? So if you want to have a bird's eye view of all the technology plays, you can get the basic pass. It gives you access to one talk from every track. It also gives you access to the keynote, right? So for example, we're going to have James Gosling as a keynote on the Java track. So you have access to all of that completely for free. For you to get the free pass, all you have to go is go all the way here, get your tickets here in the bottom, right? And so the very first one, basic pass, free ticket, right? So you just come here, add one of this here on the ticket, and then you're going to see here's going to be 0, right? And then you just check out and you can have access for free for TDC, right? Now, if you want to, you can get, like, if you're more interested in a deeper dive, right? You can register for any one of the tracks, right? So you have the tracks, the Java track or the data track, Agile track. It's not very expensive, but I'm going to do one cool thing here for you. I'm going to give you a gift, right? I'm going to give you a code coupon, right? That's going to get you a 25% discount, right? So if you come here, enter promo code, and you apply this promo code here, TDC YYB212. You apply this code, right? That's my code for the event, and so you get immediately a 25% discount on anything you want to buy here, right? Any track that you want to join, you get 25% discount. Now, here's my gift. If you use this code, get a 25% discount, but then you buy the Connect Pass, 6 tracks. So the Connect Pass gives you access to everything, right? So for the price of 2 tracks, you get access to all tracks, right? Because it has a discount. So if you do the Connect Pass using my code, I'm going to give you my training called the Skill Mastery System. It's a training it's a $97 training that helps you get all the important skills for you to be a developer, right? So it's going to show you how to acquire new skills, how to acquire habits, how to manage your time, and all the things that you need for getting awesome skills. So if you got that, use this code, get 25% discount, and you get for free a $97 program from me, right? And by the way, included on this program, the $97 program, there is a one-on-one conversation with me to help you improve your career. So you get all of that for free if you buy the $60 Connect Pass, and you get all the 6 tracks, all the recordings, and you participate amazingly in this event next week, right? So I'm just gonna put again the link here on the chat if you want to do that, and the code for you to do this. So we're here. So here, Mokhtar got himself registered. That's good. So here's the link for the page, right, for you to register there. And here is my discount code that you can apply, right? So I'm bending the rules a little bit. This discount code was just it's not open for everyone, but I got Yara to agree to me that I could promote this to everyone. So use my discount code, and you can get a 25% discount and a free training for me. How about that? Okay. So yeah, whoa, free training, awesome. Yes, many. It's actually a $97 training, but you're gonna get for free, right? So how about that? Can you share this on social media? Can you send out a tweet and LinkedIn post and tag me? I'll reshare my network. Okay, I'll do this. I'll do this, Manny. I'll definitely do this. Thanks a lot, man. Okay, so so register for TDC right now, and we'll see you next week. All right. So, Tatiana, we're top of the hour here. But is there anything that you wanted me to ask that I did not? So I see Gabriel Ferraz here on YouTube. He just said hello. So hey, hello, Gabriel. If you have any questions, there's last chance to ask questions before Tatiana has to leave, because I know you have another meeting coming up, right? Or maybe you have a couple more minutes.
Yeah, sure. I can stay for some minutes. Yeah.
Okay,
People can wait.
So Tatiana, what you think I should have asked about the IT career that I did not ask that you wanna say?
Wow. I'm not sure whether you had to ask something else or not, but in general, I can say like a summary to our talk today that people should go out of their comfort zone and not be afraid to speak up and not to be afraid to try something new. So even after 10 years of working for Jelastic and in cloud computing, I'm learning something new every day, and I'm trying myself to do something fresh, to do something new. I had to learn how to talk to people. I had to learn how to present. I had to learn how to write correctly, how to express my thoughts so people can understand me clearly. So all this stuff, this is not something that is getting like this. So this is a learning curve, and you just don't need to be afraid. Like this year, I've joined like Jakarta E community, microprofile community. I had no idea what I can do there and in what way I can be helpful. But I joined and I've started to be active there, and I see that I can be helpful. And this is also something that can help your career as well. Join the communities like that. Try to be helpful at those communities, and people will know you. People will get your name in their heads, and they will start talking about you. They will start advising others to talk to you, or maybe to get you for a job or whatever. So working tightly with communities and going outside of the comfort zone, these are like my suggestions for developers for today.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So Tatiana, look, I really think that this is the key, right? So that's totally agreed. That's awesome. So Yeah, so Manny saying try those things out and then come back to the session and have a chat with Bruno. That's great. So Mokhtar is asking, can Tatiana give us a trial for the last so we can try it out? So if where Mokhtar can go to get like a 14 days trial, because there is a 14 days trial in every provider, right?
Yeah, some of them cannot have 14 days, but in most cases they have 14 days trial. So you can choose the provider that is located closer to you because that's much more preferable for you. Or again, you can drop me a message and I can suggest you where to go and with what provider. You can also share some details about your project if you have something specific in mind that you wanted to host. So in this way, I can suggest like that this hosting provider, for example, have good experience in managed services in that direction, and they might be very helpful in supporting you with that or something like that. So again, you can go to the gelastic.cloud and choose any provider that is available there. You will get the same UI, the same technology. There might be some difference in terms of marketplace applications available or whatever, but in general, the technology will be the same. The look will be the same on all of them. So this is not a problem of learning every time some new stuff going from one provider to the other one. They all have the same platform. And you can try out. And if you need some assistance figuring out with what provider you need to get started, you can drop me a message and I will help you.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Actually, let me say here, I think I misunderstood what Manny had said, but Manny gave an awesome suggestion here. Is that Mokhtar, you should go and try those things out, and then come back and present to everyone else, right? So that's exactly what I totally agree with you. So, Manny, I think that this is a great way of growing your career, right? You learn something and then you present to others, right? So isn't this what you're doing, Tatiana? Since you started,
Sure.
right? You're learning and then you
Sure.
present to others.
And also talking about trying something and then presenting, we support such kind of people as well who are trying Gelastic and they are writing, for example, article about their experience with Gelastic, how everything went for them. And we even republish such articles on our blog as well, and we post them in social media, tagging those people. So again, if you are interested to get some more visibility in the community, you can try some specific tool or platform or program or whatsoever, and you can create some content and get in touch with the vendor and try to get some visibility with their help as well, because most of the vendors, they are more than welcome to get some fresh feedback from the customer and to publish it and to spread the word about that for sure. At least Gelastic is open for that all the time, for sure.
That's awesome. So yeah, I'm also putting here in the chat Tatiana's Twitter and Manny's Twitter, because I think I forgot to put when he was presenting earlier, right? So Tatiana's Twitter is there, Manny's Twitter is there. And so Mokhtar is asking what's the difference between those Gelastic versions, right? Actually, it's not versions, right? Just different providers, right?
Yeah, basically all those providers, they provide their infrastructure, their hardware, and we install the platform on top. So basically the platform itself is the same on all the no versions. Okay, yeah. So all the same on all infrastructure vendors, and you just have different infrastructure behind the scene, and you are going to work with this hosting provider in terms of support. For example, if you are going to have some questions, you will be getting in touch with the support of local hosting provider. This is also a kind of benefit because they are located close to you. They speak your language if you're not English speaking in the English speaking country, for example, and you can get the support in your time zone and so on and so forth. So they are working directly with the customers, and in case some questions arise, they can come to Gelastic, and Gelastic will help if they cannot solve some issue by themselves. But in general, the platform itself the same on all those almost 100 data centers. So you can use any of them. You can even, some of our customers, they are hosting projects on several hosting service providers. They have the project in one country or in the other country because they need to host it locally. And they have the same UI, so that's the easy part for them. They can manage and run everything. Yeah, Bruno is pointing at himself. So yeah, because you can run the project with the same tools and with the same look, and you don't need to learn something from scratch, but you can host it locally in the specific country. And also, these providers is different based on the price, because every provider has his own price. And based on that, so performance of the infrastructure, support, and price. Basically, these are 2 points. Technologically wise, this is all the same Jelastic platform on top of them.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly what I do. Right. I run. I run my customers and my everything I have. We run in 2 different providers in 3 countries, right? So because one of the providers has data centers in 2 countries, so we run in 2 different providers in 3 countries, and that works great. Awesome. Okay, so I don't see any more questions. So thanks a lot, Tatiana. It was great to have you here. It's amazing to work with you. So thanks for having this conversation with friends here. And let me thank Manny again, because he was here right before. So now, if you, Tatiana, or even you, Manny, if you guys want to go to the lounge, right? So now we're not going to have sessions for a couple of hours. So then the lounge is going to be open. So if anyone want to have a chat or have a conversation, if you want to drop by the lounge, that could be a great place to be. So thanks a lot, Tatiana. Awesome. Looking forward to see you in the event next week. And everyone else, thanks for being here. Right? Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching us. Whatever you're watching us, it's great to be here. Right? So can we turn our laptop as local cloud? We can. Yes, we can, Mokhtar. That works. Yes, it does work. Okay. So thanks a lot, Tatiana. Thanks everyone. It was great to have you all here. Thank you.
Thank you.